Before we begin, we have to clear one thing up. This is a journal, not a diary. There's a difference. Mom got me this thing because she heard CS was a hard major and she wanted me to write my feelings down to keep my mental health in check or whatever. To be honest, I don't know what she's worried about. I'm gonna do great. The only reason I'm gonna write in this stupid thing is so I can share my experiences with you guys, give you some hope, and hopefully learn some things extra while I'm teaching. If you find this video interesting, please like and subscribe to my channel, and hope you guys have a great day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that intro I just made. I saw Bale and Levine do it. I thought it was kind of silly. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's get straight into the video. So this was my first ever hackathon, and it was a really good experience. And so I would like to share some tips with you guys about the hackathon and maybe what to expect if you're going to your first hackathon or other stuff. Just talk about it. Second part of the video, we're going to discuss my code more in depth and like me and my partner's thought process. We're even going to get an interview from him talking about how he thought about it, because it was not just me, it was also my partner. And then also we're just going to demo the app a little bit that we created and have some closing thoughts. So moving right along to the tips, the first thing I have to say is be ambitious, then tone it down by 100 times. I originally was just going to tell you guys to don't be ambitious, but I know that sounded bad, so I kind of changed this wording around. What I mean by this is, you know, these things, this one only lasted 12 hours. Some of them last 24, some of them 48. I know some of them last longer, you know, whatever, they can last a week. Know your time frame is a big deal, especially if you're a beginner coder like myself. It takes longer to do some simple things. You're going to be debugging a lot more. Not to say that you won't if you're experienced, but we originally, me and my partner, we had these huge ambitions. We were thinking like this site where it was, you know, it would help you out. Like, as you were on the website longer, it would, learn your responses. And by this time, we've barely touched APIs. We barely know like how like we're learning machine learning. So we were like, I don't know what we were thinking, but yeah, that was like, I was like, bro, we can have this thing that recommends you an anime, and then if you like it, it will learn and recommend you these ones. And like, we had 12 hours, and we're first years, so it was silly. But back to the point. Make sure to have these big ambitions and these big goals, and then tone it down to like a very small point. Say you want to do something huge. Okay, that's a great idea. Like, you need these great ideas to start with, but then try to see how you can just simplify it to like just a step or a part in this grand scheme you create in your mind. It makes it easier. Tip number 2, have a purpose before you go in there. Our hackathon in specific, there was events the whole day. There was guest speakers. We had someone from Google, someone from this other website, a CoCalc. It was a really cool website, actually. A ton of cool things and a ton of cool people to talk. And, you know, our game club at the school came in and talked about game development and APIs, and we learned more about Git. And it was our first time, so, you know, we didn't really manage our time well because we wanted to go to all these events, and we were participating in the overall hackathon challenge. So my thing is, look up where you're going to and know what's happening. If there's events, like, you know, if you just want to go there for the events, that's still really good experience. Or if you're really focused and you want to win, go there for that. So have a purpose before you walk in there. Are you going to be hard coding? Do you have a team? Are you just going to be going for events? Are you going to be going for networking? Are you going to be going to make friends? Have a purpose before you walk in there. Third tip is look up that specific hackathon you want to do of the year before, so you can kind of look through the gallery, or just like look up the Instagram or like whatever, so you kind of know the format. You're not walking in there with you know, walking in there blind-eyed or whatever. Yeah, just a little tip, kind of ties into everything else. Like I said, you know, look up your hackathon. You can look up rules. Maybe there's people already asking for teammates or whatever. And this is for an in real life one. Obviously, our digital ones or like online ones are going to be different. All right, everybody, this is one of my best friends since high school. This is the guy I worked with the,
Hey.
What?
6 is ready, bro.
Okay, we're gonna do that. What's up, Jacob?
What's up, Kyce?
How's it going? Bro, why are you so awkward? You're in your own house right now.
I don't know, bro. This is the your reminder, bro. I'm telling you, bro. All right, everybody. This is my sixth grade friend, really smart guy. What?
Sixth grade.
See, this is why I'm not a live streamer, bro. Multiple things. All right, everybody. This is one of my best friends since sixth grade. My hackathon teammate. He's a really smart guy, and I hope you gain some insight from this conversation. Please welcome James Mace.
Everyone.
So pretty much, I just want to ask you a few questions about our experience, and hopefully this could help some people out, and yeah, maybe just a fun conversation. So the first question I have for you today is, how do you think this experience will help us in future projects?
So the first thing I realized at the hackathon, I mean, I'm sure everybody who's been to a hackathon has experienced this, but for everyone who hasn't, the first roadblock you come into is what am I even gonna do? Cutie hack, especially was really broad. There was an overall theme of space, but you also didn't even have to follow it, and there was no other guidelines. So you could do whatever you want. You could make a website, a game, whatever. It really did not matter what you made. And all that freedom, it's good and it's bad. You don't know what you want to do. But overcoming that and just doing that over and over again, like coming up with ideas, that's a skill set that a lot of people overshadow rather than like how fast can I code? Like am I gonna make sure that I put all my semicolons and did all my syntax right? Like people focus on that too much, and what's really is important is coming up with new and innovative ideas, but especially at hackathons where that's really the entire point.
Interesting. So you're
So
highlighting the point of like creativity above like coding skills is also very important to have.
yeah, your coding skills, you can always look up a YouTube video on how do I code this on this language, and you'll generally find some pretty good resources for that. But there's not really a lot of videos of what can I make for my Cutie Hackathon 2024, you know? And you'll get brainstorming stuff sometimes, but it really comes from here, and it's your mind is a muscle you have to work out.
Yeah, I actually agree with that a lot because, and a big thing is like when you ask like AI or just look up videos of like hackathon, like whatever, that doesn't take into account your skill set. So like our project, we leaned in heavily on this database and AI APIs. That was just because that's what we've learned. So a big thing is like connecting your creativity with like what you know and like using that because you want to highlight your skills, and sometimes these videos they don't know your skills, and AI doesn't know your skills unless you tell it. So that could be a big factor into that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, with how that's going to help us in the future, just to double down on it, is the more ideas you come up with, the easier it becomes. Like you can teach yourself to be more creative. A lot of people think that it's innate, and it is. Some people are just more creative than others at birth, but it's really something that you can practice.
Cool. All right, and then let's just go on to the next one. So like if we had unlimited time and resources, like what features would you love to add as we were working on it? Was there something where you were like, "Oh, this would be so cool," or like if we publish this, we should have this? Like what were some of your thoughts on that?
So once the hours are counting down on that timer, like, oh, I have to have this in an hour. Once you've gotten to the point where you finally have an idea and you're excited about working on this project, like, oh, I finally know what I'm doing. I just have to get it done. That's when you start running out of time and you're like, well, what can I get done with the time I have? So if that time was unlimited with our app Discovery specifically, I think both of us agreed we would have liked to add a more robust searching feature, like searching by specifically region or like genre or like I have these ingredients, what can I make? Rather than just searching by keywords in the name of the dish,
Yeah,
as well as like a saving feature, like, oh, I like these recipes, I want to save them or I want to favorite them. Or also saying like, I have these allergies, don't recommend these foods to me that have this stuff in them. So I think those are features we would like to add, but we just ran out of time. So
I think we talked about that a lot. Was try like we really hoped or wished we could add that feature with the ingredients. I feel like that would have been the coolest thing. There's stuff like that that already exists, but if we would have been able to find a way to like simplify it and like kind of make it more like I guess like a
benefited from having.
so you touched on like meeting people and joining groups. How would you suggest people with like maybe some anxiety or they feel like they're a beginner coder? Like, how would you suggest them getting over that like fear of making a group worse and diminishing their work? And how would you get them to like, okay, how can you approach meeting people and joining these groups if you may feel like you're not like capable of doing that?
Yeah, so that sounds like classic imposter syndrome, you know? And everyone there is a student. They're all learning. Like this is universities and hackathons. I mean, they're competitions, right? But they're still a place that you're learning. It's not like wartime. Like this is my enemy, and if he figures this out before me, like my town's gonna get bombed. You know, that's not how it is right now. It's we're both just coming up with these ideas for fun, and we're both just everyone here is trying to advance their knowledge. Everyone here has something to learn.
Yeah.
Some people are further ahead than others, people who have been coding for a long time versus people who are just starting in college. But even people who are just starting in college, they might know things that people who have been coding for a long time haven't. So it's really hard to know like this person is better than me in every single way. I'm not useful to them at all. And being scared of meeting new people because you're scared that I'm just not good enough to be in the group with these people. But I would say if you can get past that, and I mean, obviously, being extremely anxious is hard to just get past, right? But these groups, like, they're not big, evil, we know all this code and you don't. Like, a lot of people in the coding world are really open to beginners and they want you to ask for help. They want to teach you new stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so I would just say, in a nutshell, if you can just get past your anxiety, which is hard, but know that these people aren't out to get you and they're not going to be like, wow, this guy doesn't know anything. What an idiot. Like they know that everyone starts somewhere, right? They were just like you however long ago. So just try to learn. That's really all it's about is just learning.
I feel like knowing your strengths too and being able to effectively communicate that to groups you're working with is a big thing. You like you were saying your brother, you would like to have him on your team. If your brother was at his first hackathon and he wasn't able to clearly communicate, he's good at design, UI, UX type of work. His group may not place him in those areas where he's strong just because he was afraid to speak up and tell people that. So I 100% agree with that. And just, I would like to add that part of communication, being able to communicate your strengths. Because even if you aren't the best at something in your group, if you're better at some things, then you can participate in the group and still uh, make a good effort, you know? All right. So, but
I would
last,
like to add something to
yeah,
that actually.
yeah.
Is for the people who genuinely feel like I have no skills in this at all. Like I don't even know the smallest thing and I can't help anyone. Like I can barely type hello world in Python, you know? I would say just try like you're probably not ready for a hackathon yet if you're at that point. And that's fine. There take some classes, watch some videos, do some like small projects on your own and just learn what you like to do in coding. So this again, this is geared towards people who are really just starting out. You are probably not ready for a hackathon. So just do some projects on your own, take some courses, whatever, however you learn best, self-studying, tutoring, whatever. Learn what you like to do and just try to go into that and just learn what you can and just have fun doing it. And real if coding is something that you dread, it's probably not the right world for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. I like that. All right. Let's kind of move on to this last point, and this is kind of a two-parter. What project would you love to work on together in the future, and kind of talk about what me and you and some other people have in the works.
right. So me specifically, far out into the future, um, I want to work on more like AI stuff, specifically related to like AI seeing the real world and reacting based on that. But in the short term, like coming up soon, me and Kyce and some other guys are participating in an Amazon sponsored hackathon, and we're creating a game in Unity for that. So we have a lot to learn on that, but it should be fun.
Yeah, it's like pretty much all of ours first like Unity project in general at all. So luckily the deadline actually got extended. It used to be a month. It was now 2 months. So that was kind of our saving grace. And we decided to migrate our skills into a 3D game. And I just stay tuned because I'm actually going to be making videos about our process and everything, and maybe some more informational stuff as well for you guys. So yeah, that's me and James are doing that. And actually, he mentioned his little brother, and then another guy is one of our other friends is joining us on this. So we're very excited about that. Back to so stay tuned for that. Yeah. Thank you, James, for interviewing with us.
Yeah, thank you, Kyce. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this was actually really fun. I don't know how much of this is going to be in there, but if you guys would be interested in seeing more of like a long form podcast where we discuss our experiences, maybe some like teaching instruction work, or just our opinions on specific topics with other friends. He mentioned his little brother and our other friend. We're working on a game. So if you would like to see more long form, like podcast type stuff, let us know. If you guys liked this part of the video, just comment down below. All
Bro.
right, type. Okay, we're gonna cut that part. Comment Coca-Cola down below if you would like to see what I just talked about. And that's going to be the end of the video entirely. If you have any questions, leave it down below for me or for James about anything. I'm going to leave our all of our socials down below. You can hit us up, LinkedIn, etc. If you have any questions, talk to us. This is a small channel, so if you are one of the few people who are going to be watching this, we're more than happy to answer questions. We're both first years, but we're also very passionate and knowledgeable. We've done a lot of side stuff, and we're throwing ourselves into a lot. So we're kind of learning a lot as we go, and we'd love to help teach anybody who's curious about stuff or who would just like to have a conversation. So that's all. Thank you guys for watching. I am Kyce Harper,
And I'm James Mace.
and you guys have a great day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace out.
Take 4. I keep recording these too long. I want to keep it under 5. Okay. So me and my partner's thought process was we want to incorporate APIs. We're in this club AISC, and we had a week that we were learning how to front end like call APIs, pretty much just like HTML, CSS. So we're like, okay, we want to make a website with APIs. You know, it's what we know. It's kind of cool, and we can make it look up a little nicer than what it simply is. Um, so we decided on this meal database, and it's a free database, didn't require a login, and it just it has a bunch of these foods. So you can call this. It has a bunch of different ways you can search meals by first letter name. Check it out if you want to make a project with it. It's really cool. Um, as we were starting, we were like, okay, we don't really know how to deploy it that well. We don't know backend too much. And we're like, okay, how can we simplify this? And I know Swift. So I was like, okay, let's make this Swift. Let's make it an application. We can download it on our phones on developer, and it'll be a little cooler. We can, I like Swift because it's more instant gratification when you can like go on your phone and like do something you made. So I was like, okay, I know Swift. We both know APIs. I can teach you Swift. It's easy. Let's do Swift. So that's how we ended up on that, and that's how we ended up with this API. The basic idea behind this program is we have this separate Swift file, and it's just API calls, we called it. And it just has these two functions we created, with one random meals and one where it's search meals. Obviously, this one we have to input a string, and we just add that user inputted string to the end of the URL, and get the data from the URL session, the get method, whatever, into data, decode that data from JSON into Swift so Swift can understand it, and return it. Basic idea. Down here now we have the app. Let me just show you guys. So there's two functionalities. One, you can click surprise me and it will surprise you with something. The other, you can do like chicken. Let's say chicken. Hold on. Chicken, and it will search and it will show you chicken options, and you can click see more, and it will work. That's one of the bugs. The first time you load one, it won't work, but if you go back to it, it will work. I'm not going to get too in depth into the Z stacks and V stacks. Pretty much just with these buttons, the idea is when you press the button, it will call the function. And so for this surprise me, we have all this list of this array of meals now we have onto the phone. When you click surprise me, it actually just clears the array completely, just deletes everything, and then it calls fetch meal. So we have this if statement. If meals is empty is not true, then that's why we have when the search is fills up the array, it'll do a for each and just output everything onto here. And if we press surprise me, it will clear the array. This won't go, and it will go onto this if statement where it just shows, it's all the same format. It's a lot of copy and paste. It's just different navigation wise. So we have right here the text, the image, then the category and the area, and the ingredients and instructions in this different darker color. It's just a secondary system color. Okay, so now you're going to see this dot sheet is presented. You notice when we click search and you click see more, this is where this dot sheet comes in. Pretty much when you press see more, this sets this sheet view to true. And once again, it's the same idea. It's the name, an image, category, area, etc. And when it's true, it shows up. And we didn't really have to do a not true because you can just swipe down and it goes away and you can continue using the app. There you go, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Functions again, outlined right there. And if you want to see a more in-depth explanation on the code, let me know. I'll totally make it, but I want to keep this short and more of a general informative video. So I hope you find this helpful.